Good afternoon, friends. I committed to actually do a Facebook Live, and I'm super nervous about it, so I figured I would do a video first as kind of a first run. This is the year of breaking out of that comfort zone and just doing the things, really regardless, right? And not worrying about what people think, and not worrying too much about what I think, not thinking too much, just making decisions and sticking with them, right? So yeah, those are still some Christmas lights behind me. I love Christmas lights. I think they're beautiful. And so those I think are going to stay on my mantle year round, even though our Christmas decorations are put away. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about today that's been on my heart a little bit, as I go into a year of living with intention, is this social media highlight reel. For lack of a better word, my dogs are gonna chew on something over there, sorry. So with that, one of the things that you may or may not know about me is that by trade, I am a photographer. I started in the portrait industry almost 20 years ago, working at a 1-hour photo, and then at an independent portrait studio doing senior portraits and high school sports and that kind of thing, and then moved into family and portrait photography in studios. At this point, I'm a district manager, and one of the exercises that I do with people when I'm training them to help them to either A, become better photographers, or B, become better salespeople, depending on where their need is to talk about that people do not go around smiling all the time. Babies do not go around smiling all the time. And why does this matter, right? Why does this matter in portraits or in life? And the reason is that so many times photographers are so focused on getting that smile, and salespeople are so focused on the pictures that have the smile, that we forget, that they forget, that parents forget, that babies do a heck of a lot more than grin, right? Humans do a lot more than smile. If we all just walked around like this all day, like how awkward, right? And my smile lines that I already have would be 10 times worse, which not terribly a bad thing, but and the example that I use is one of my favorite photos ever of my kiddo that I gave birth to. He's almost 12 now. He's about 6 weeks old, and I nursed him for the first year of his life, and he was born at almost 10 pounds. So he's a big baby, and he was always hungry, and he refused to take a pacifier. So that first year of life was kind of long, but in the scheme of things, it went by so fast. Anyway, one of my favorite pictures when he was about 6 weeks old is me holding him like this, and we're kind of face to face, but I'm not in the portrait, and he is screaming, like, ah, like screaming, like tears running down his face. And I love this picture so much because it embodies Coltrane at 6 weeks old. And while he had just started smiling for me, and you know, you definitely get those gas bubbles and that kind of thing, he wasn't always smiling. And he still doesn't always smile. He can be a little salty, as he likes to tell me. Anyway, but my point here is that just like with those portrait sessions where people aren't always smiling in real life, on social media, the highlight reel that we all see looks like a whole lot of perfection. And the truth is that it's just not, right? I mean, the pictures that we post are one out of how many that we had to take to get that good one. And that's the same thing in photography studios, right? How many photos are actually taken before you get the one that you love, that you put up on your wall, that goes in the photo album, right? In the old days, you didn't have a lot of options, but nowadays with digital media, we really have a lot more wiggle room to get that perfect picture. So I just want all of us to really remember that as we're scrolling through our social media, as we're putting things on, you know, with a filter, and as we're looking at what other people are doing and deciding what we want to share with the world, just to always, always, always remember that it is the highlight reel, and it's not real life. It's not everyday real life. So as I am living, working, everything that I do as much as possible, because again, not perfect, right? First to say it, with intention. We have to remember that life is messy, and that in order to do the big things that we want to do, sometimes we're going to have to make a fool of ourselves. We have to take that massive action before we're going to see change, and we've got to find our courage to do it. And sometimes that means posting something that isn't perfect. Sometimes that means showing off a piece of our life that is broken, and hopefully finding other pieces of our tribe, other members of our village, other, friends and family, and building to show that it's okay to not always have the highlight reel. I think the flip side of that is that we can get caught up in showing off our brokenness, and we can get caught up in being too broken, and that can become a crutch. Like, oh, I'm just, an imperfect, whatever. And absolutely, yes, you are. But there's a time to be broken and a time to be imperfect. And then there's a time to move and make a change and be better and move forward. And that's really what I am excited about this year, is to acknowledge what happened and leave it there. Acknowledge that that's a part of me, has made me who I am, and that's okay. But my story continues, and my decisions don't have to be my destiny, and I don't have to be stuck in the story that I have so far. We can move forward from that together. So living with intention, life is messy, social media is a highlight reel, don't forget it. And I'm excited to spend this time with you. So thank you so much.